Well, hi. Today is Thursday, December 5th, 2024. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Thank you so much for supporting the show and for hitting that share and like button. You know, it's just a simple thing like that helps this show grow, and it helps us get the word out more about what's happening here in Council Bluffs and the surrounding communities around Pottawatomie County and across southwest Iowa. It's a very simple thing, and I know it's kind of a cliche that you hit that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube, or hitting like or share or follow on Facebook, but it's huge. It's a very simple and free thing that you can do, but it means so much to this show, and it's going to make it so more people can see it. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, it would be a big help. Thanks to the folks at the Mile Away. Had their taco special last night, and always fun to head out there. And tonight, it's one of their biggest nights of the week because Thursdays is $5 burger and fries. And it's not like it's a small burger. This is a half-pound burger with fries or tots for just $5. And while you're out there at the Mile Away tonight, why not get your team signed up for the Cornhole League that is coming up in January? They're signing folks up all through December. You can learn more about it at their website and also by picking up a burger tonight. Just go to themileaway.com. We also want to say thank you to a brand new sponsor. It is GT Motors in Council Bluffs out on Broadway on the 20th block. And they're the ones with the big giant tree that we've been talking about. And Rick with FoxCo Fabrications is going to be on the show here in just a little bit to talk more about that tree. But I had a conversation with Garrett yesterday at GT Motors, and he said, yeah, we like what you're doing there. Let's sign up to be a sponsor on that. So if you go to gtmotorscb.com, you can see the website here on the screen. You can see the cars that they have on the lot. And also, you know, sometimes it might be, they may have other cars there that just haven't gotten onto the website yet. So it's always good to stop by and take a look at what they have and what the options might be. And they have financing available right there on site. So gtmotorscb.com is the website, and a huge thank you to them for joining us on Morning Coffee. Well, as we mentioned, we had a conversation just very, very recently with Mr. Rick Graybill from FoxCo Fabrication. You've got to be feeling good about how that Christmas tree turned out over at GT Motors. That thing, I drove past there last night. You know, you and I saw each other after going to the Dodge House Christmas party for the chamber. And I thought, you know what, I need to get over and see it in person. And wow, I mean, it jumps out there. You got to be pleased with how that whole thing came together.
Yeah, that was all Garrett and his lights. My side was easy, really, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, you say it was easy, but no, there's a lot of math involved, geometry, all kinds of that stuff, making sure that it sits straight. And there's got to be a lot of things that go into that I wouldn't even have a clue about.
Yeah, and the thing is, he asked for it last year. He wanted a 60-foot, and the timing just didn't work out.
Right.
Because I love Garrett, but it was like short notice, and it was like, yeah, we could probably do it. I don't know how to make it collapsible, you know, because it can't stay. You can't have a tree flying all year. And,
right.
So he was adamant about that. I said, well, we'll revisit it next year. And then he gave me like 4 months heads up. Hey, I still want that tree.
Right.
But yeah, it wasn't too bad as long as you got somebody down there helping you cut and weld and hopping around. And
so that thing is collapsible?
Yeah.
Wow.
All four sides pop off.
Wow, that's that makes a lot of sense to be able to do that, because if it's not going to be up all year, finding a place to store that when it's completely put together would be kind of tough.
It makes it a nightmare to build because it's so big. I mean, yeah, it's 32 feet tall, but you know, leverage becomes a real issue after like 10 feet. So yeah, he wanted it easily collapsible, and I said, you know, that's open to interpretation on the easy part, but we'll figure it out. So,
but and getting it transported over there and everything, no real issues with that.
That was a nightmare. Yeah, just a flatbed trailer, and I followed it in my car, and then a wrong turn was made. Now we're in the back streets and cars on both sides. I was like, man, let's just get this thing off the trailer. It's time to go.
Well done. I think it's a great addition, and hopefully that Garrett wants to keep using that over there every year, because I think it adds something to Broadway for December.
It's cool. Yeah, you can see it from coming off the viaduct, and then I mean we turned around down at 25th, But yeah, it was still bright as could be. So he killed it with the lights, man. That definitely makes it.
Yeah. Yeah, it did, and I like how it's kind of translucent, so you can see through it. It's not like each side is solid, so it has a really cool look, and the lights have movement to them, and it's a really interesting piece that is up there now, and you were integral in getting that done. So
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
it's a testament to your skills, and we've been talking about it on the show that you have. Offering services now for flatbed trucks. Now it's not like you're creating the whole truck. You're changing out the bed, right?
Yep. Yeah, so Midwest is notorious for the beds rusting out, 10 years before the truck dies. So a lot of guys around here, farmers, ranchers, all that, contractors, their daily they'll go out, we'll just slap a flatbed on it. Um, so it was kind of a no-brainer. We always wanted to do it, so we just teamed up with a dealership in Oregon, and they said, hey, you got a plasma table and you can weld. We'd like to have you. They want to get, in the Midwest region. And I said, I think there's a market here for it.
So there's not many places that are providing these that are very close to us then.
We have 4 in Iowa, but we're all spread out. We all have so many counties.
Right.
We all have sections. But no, I have customers coming up from Missouri and then down from Minnesota. I have one guy that won't leave me alone. So it's just.
Well, in case you wondered what kind of guy Rick is, that's what I love about you, man, is that you don't pull any punches and you say, here's how it is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's up to you to deal with it,
Sure.
so.
Yeah. It's been my problem my whole life, but I'm used to it.
So it can work out like you talked about with farmers. It can work out with them.
Yep.
Maybe contractors. Could this be something that could
Oh
benefit
yeah,
them?
100%. We add toolboxes to the side. You build it out however you want it. You get the build sheet. There's a big checklist. Hey, I want X amount of boxes. I want this. I want a crane coming off the side so I can lift semi tires up. We make it for you. It's just as far as overall design, my hands are tied. So, which
I
isn't a
see.
bad thing. It's a really cool design. Super clean. And everything's powder coated, and everything we see running around town, flatbed wise, they rust out in a year. So
Right.
the LEDs are burned out, so you get a lifetime warranty on your LEDs, and I'm going to do my best to make sure it doesn't rust. So
Yeah.
there's body cavity wax that we're going to start using. They use on your car frames in the Midwest, getting the nooks and crannies and kind of prevent it from going to crap so quick.
Yeah. Well, and sitting up a little bit higher, I I don't know if it would get as much salt on it as it would otherwise if it was something that was a little bit lower, but still it finds its way.
Oh yeah.
Especially with that liquid salt that gets put down a lot now, and it turns into a mist, and it just kind of goes everywhere all over your car.
Yeah, I asked a body guy one time. He's down by me, and I had this old Tahoe. And I bought new bumpers for it. I said, can you like rhino line the back of them, or is there any thing you can do to prevent it from rusting? Because the '01 Tahoes were notorious for it. Well, the Suburban, all of them. And he goes, yeah, if you want to fix it, just move out of the Midwest. That's fair enough, man.
I've made the joke before that, at some point I'm just going to take a snowblower, I'm going to strap it to the top of my car, and I'm going to start driving south. As soon as I get far enough south that somebody asks me what that is, I'm moving there.
Yeah. Ozark is pretty good. They get snow occasionally, but
right.
We spend some time down there. It's usually about like 25 degrees warmer than it is here.
And it was a couple of years ago that I was on my way back. I spent Christmas with some family in North Georgia, and on the way back, we got a horrible snowstorm, just nasty coming through Nashville. And then last year at Thanksgiving, when I was coming back from Arizona, we got a snowstorm. And the last bit from Kansas City to here, and I drive a big, heavy rear-wheel drive car. Imagine that with no treatment on the roads at all from I-29 from Kansas City to Council Bluffs. Oh man, not much fun at all.
Yeah.
How's everything going over there at FoxCo Fabrication? I know that you stay busy. It seems like every time I talk to you, you're right in the middle of another project.
Yeah, we always got something crazy going on. Yeah, nice thing is we're kind of winding down now for the year. With chamber events that we went to last night at the Dodge House, and then my wife's Christmas party, and then family and the holidays and everything. So no real break. I say we're winding down, but we're just really kind of ramping up, I guess. It's quite the opposite.
Yeah, getting ready and still picking up orders here and there for getting the mugs done and the signs and different things.
That's the thing, is there's always something to be done. It never stops, but it's good. It's all good. I can't complain. So.
Well, and I know that, we've had people contact you, I know, from the show that's, headed over there and got some cups made. And
oh, yeah.
She was thrilled. She actually sent me a private message and was raving about the customer service that you guys are providing. And I know that that's the type of thing that matters to you. And it's part of the reason, I believe, why you live here where you do. We've got the new sponsor on now, GT Motors, who you had worked with. Yep. And this is another guy that grew up here.
Yeah.
And, wants to make his life, his business, everything else right here in Council Bluffs. And that's the type of thing that matters. And that's what people respond to. When you and I were up at, I came and visited you one time at the Crescent Farmers Market.
Yeah.
And I remember that a question you got all the time was, where are you from? Where are you guys out of? Yeah.
It blows my mind. We spend so much money in marketing and posting ads, running local sponsorship. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, you witnessed it. People are, Council, where?
Yeah.
I'm lying. Like, I drove in from Lincoln. Like, you want my home address? I'll give it to you.
No, you got to shop here in Council Bluffs. We're not going to put out where it's at. It's not like it's a commerciul shop. This is just where you do
I don't have
work.
like a storefront. It's a shop. So yeah, there's tools flying. There's attitude. Yeah. There's a lot of fun. It's just a shop. So. Right. Yeah, people are always like, "Hey, I want to come down." It's like, you can, but enter at your own risk.
Right. There's nothing really there. Someday I may talk you into having a commercial space and you can start putting stuff out. But I also know how important it is to you that you're not doing these bulk projects and it's not production work where you're cranking out 400 and 500 mugs of the same logo or things like that. Because
we turn them away.
Yeah, you understand the limits that. Yeah.
There's a couple. We got in with a couple real estate agencies lately, and we give them a little bit of slack, but they're always so good to us and super kind. But there's a lot that comes with that. I can't post their pictures. I can't mention their names. One logo has to be bigger than the other. So you live in these strict guidelines of marketing that, because we were talking. It's like, man, we need to post more pictures. And the problem is, for the last 2 years, I said, if it was family, if it was personal, I ain't posting a picture of it. It's up to you to do it. Whether you do or not, that's on you, but our side of it's done. When you're 2 years in, you're going, we don't have that many pictures, man. We got to start.
Well, I've got one you made right back here. It sits right behind me. It's in the set every day. And I have sometimes if I'm on a road trip or if I'm headed somewhere, I will actually, it's in use. That's just where I store it.
Yeah.
So, it holds a lot of coffee and keeps it hot for a very long time. And
it's almost a pain because an hour later you're still getting burned. You're like, toss an ice cube in it.
Yeah, well, I've done that before too, but it's, that's the type of thing that I like to have. And it holds a lot. And plus the way that it's tapered, it still fits in the cup holder in my car. So, all of that works, but that's just one of the products that you have on there.
Yeah.
And, I know that, you do the metal business cards, you do the family signs and that kind of thing that are custom made, but that's kind of what you prefer is the custom orders, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think going into this next year, we'll probably do a sign a month, and it leans a little bit more towards production, but maybe we'll do a run of 5 or 10, and each month it'll be the new one. If you get one, you get one. If you don't, you don't. But yeah, the custom stuff, and there'll be a spot for, to add your name to the bottom or a birth date, or unfortunately, we do a lot of death dates, which is always a bummer. They always seem to come in back to back to back. They die in threes. It's like we get them by 6. And it's just like, and then you hear the story and you're like, man, I can't tell you no now.
Right. Say, real quick, before we wrap this thing up here today, Rick, and you told me this, I think it was last year, the story about your logo and where the Fox part of it comes. Just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I grew up out off Pioneer Trail back before it was, it's decently developed now. But I did floor covering. In the summer times, I go with my dad, my uncle, and my grandpa, and everyone in town knew Grandpa as the Silver Fox because he drove a silver work van and it had a silver fox on the side of the van. So we go to Duncan's Cafe to eat in the morning, or Wanda's or whatever it was. Lee or Silver Fox. And so when he passed away in '08, I was traveling, I was on the road, and I almost didn't make it back. But it's just always kind of been heavy on my heart. It was like, that was such a fun time. And, those are three guys. I'll never be able to capture what those guys did. But yeah, it was near and dear to my heart. So when we were thinking about naming the company, it was kind of a no brainer, but I didn't want to take away from the Silver Fox, because that was their thing. And I just got to be a little part of it. Just the tip of the hat. And to keep my quality high, I feel like, because you never want to let any of those guys down. We went with FoxCo,
Yeah,
which
I know that.
then turned into an issue of, are we going to get sued by like Fox Racing? And then you find out there's like a Fox Welding in Greenfield, Iowa. There's a bunch of Fox
Right.
Weldings out there, so I think we're the only FoxCo.
That reminds me of a story. A guy I went to high school with had and this is back in the 80s. He built a monster truck. And
Nice.
he owns a trucking company up in Okoboji now, and a lot of folks that went up that direction knew about that. It was the truck was Kodiak. That was the name of it, and a lot of folks knew about him. And I know that he told me the story once that shortly after they built it, they contacted the chewing tobacco company. There was Kodiak chewing tobacco.
Oh yeah.
Contacted them about, hey, would you think about sponsoring this? And they got a letter back saying, if that logo even resembles ours at all, we're suing you.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that.
Well, yeah, we've got a few of those letters.
Yeah, I think that a lot of those is more just posturing than anything else.
Well, yeah, they're flexing. They're showing, hey, it's our 30 attorneys against your one.
Right.
And we don't even want anything. It's just to prove a point and scare you. So.
And it works. Worked on me, but yeah.
I still play around. I still dabble in the arts.
Well, listen, brother, I appreciate your time today. And also, I appreciate everything that you do with supporting this show, with supporting the work that you've done personally for me, and for the connections that we've made. I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah.
And
well, you're the best ambassador for the local small businesses. That's what I always tell everybody. It's like, man, you're not going to find a better support system than Todd. It's everywhere I go, and we're together. It's nothing but kind words, and it's not just about me, but it's about everybody you're affiliated with, whether they be a sponsor or not. It's like, so that's super cool when you just never find that.
Well, thank you. High praise, and very grateful for that. So I'm sure we'll be in touch and be doing more projects very soon.
Yeah, definitely. Your sign's coming. I think it gets painted this weekend. I think I finally have enough stuff to paint that color. So.
Well, that's very cool. Once the sign is up, we're going to do a reveal on it, and I'll have you back on, and you can talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Very
Sounds
cool.
good, man.
Rick is tons of fun to talk to, and always thankful anytime I get to. Sometimes we get together for lunch. As he talked about, we'd gotten together at the Dodge House earlier this week for the Chamber of Commerce Christmas party. And thanks again, Rick, for everything that you do for the business and for the community. And also, you help businesses grow just like I do. So very thankful for everything that you do regarding that. Spiral of Accountability is the name of the book, written by Carol Horner. She has a company called Synchronicity, and what she does is helps businesses and their staff and their team communicate better with each other. Sometimes it can be difficult to get folks on the same page, and that's where Carol comes in. And she has developed this spiral of accountability that just kind of spells things out, and it makes it easier for everyone to see where they're at, what direction they're facing, and how they can better work together. So if you go to spiralofaccountability.com, you can pick up a copy of the book, and you can also find more information about Synchronicity, about Carol, and about how she can benefit your company by bringing her in to talk with your staff and with your team. And in the end, it just makes for a better work environment, and it makes for better productive team members. So spiralofaccountability.com is that website. Again, thank you so much for everything that you do to support Morning Coffee. We see the numbers go up. We see new subscribers coming in all the time. We see new people following us on, if it's on the Facebook channel or if it's on the YouTube channel, that's where the subscribers button is. Something about ringing the bell on there that also makes it so you get an alert anytime that we post a new show. New shows come out every weekday at 6 in the morning Central Time. I know we have folks watching us from other parts of the country. The bulk of the vast majority are right here local, but I know that it's also a way for folks that can keep up to date with everything that's going on around here. I am going to be heading out. I am back with the Council Bluffs Business Connection, and this is one of my favorite referral groups that I've ever been a part of. And now Les Hills Media and Podcast is going to be a part of that, and I'm headed out very, very shortly to head over to that meeting. If you have a business in the Council Bluffs area and would like to visit, the Council Bluffs Business Connection meets at the Chamber of Commerce office in the 100 block, 7:30 to 9 every Thursday. And Blake Hunter with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services is the president of Council Bluffs Business Connection. And if you'd like more information about how your business could become part of this referral group, reach out to Blake. And I know that he would love to have that conversation with you. That's going to wrap up this show. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a tremendous Thursday. My name is Todd Studer. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.